You have a stock in your portfolio that's down 50%. Every rational analysis says to sell it, yet you hold on, maybe even buy more. You keep repairing a car when you know the next bill will cost more than the car is worth. This isn't optimism. It is a cage built from your past decisions. This feeling of being tethered to a failure is one of the most powerful and destructive forces in your financial life. It feels logical to try and salvage what you have already invested. You tell yourself that you are too deep in to quit now. But this logic is a dangerous illusion, a cognitive trap set by your own mind. It's a force that keeps people in failing businesses, toxic relationships, and disastrous investments, long after the point of no return. It's not a character flaw. You are not weak for feeling this way. In fact, this glitch is a byproduct of an ancient survival mechanism that is now misfiring in the modern world of finance. The pain you feel is real, but its source is not what you think. It does not come from the money you have lost, but from the story you tell yourself about that loss. You believe that walking away means everything you did was for nothing, that it was all a waste. And your brain is wired to avoid that feeling at all costs. But what is this invisible force? This is the sunk cost fallacy, the belief that you must continue a course of action because of your previous investment of time, money, or effort. It's a mechanism that values the past over the future. And understanding its origin is the first step to disabling it, so let's explore its evolutionary roots. Imagine our distant ancestors on the savannah. If a hunter spent half a day tracking a small animal, giving up meant certain wasted energy, a precious resource. In a world of scarcity, abandoning a hunt was a terrible strategy. The instinct was simple: finish what you started because the resources are already spent. This was a winning formula for survival. Our brains evolved to value that invested effort immensely. This mental shortcut, finish what you start, became deeply embedded in our operating system. It prevented us from being indecisive and ensured we followed through. For 99% of human history, this was not a fallacy. It was a critical survival tool that kept us alive and moving forward. But the modern world is not the savannah. Our financial environment is one of abundance and infinite opportunity, not scarcity. A failed investment is not a failed hunt. There is always another opportunity, another stock, another idea. The problem is that our ancient brain hardware has not caught up with our modern financial software. So when you look at that losing stock, your brain doesn't see an abstract number on a screen. It registers the hours of research you put in, the emotional energy you spent, and the money you earned through hard work. It interprets selling at a loss as wasting the hunt, and it screams at you to keep going. This mismatch between our ancient instincts and the modern financial world is the core of the trap. The sunk cost fallacy is your survival instinct working against you. It is a feature, not a bug, but it is running in the wrong environment. The key is not to fight the instinct, but to recognize when it is being triggered incorrectly. This evolutionary echo is only one part of the equation. The fallacy is reinforced by another powerful psychological force, our own ego. Admitting a mistake is painful, and the sunk cost fallacy provides the perfect excuse to delay that pain, even if it means creating more of it in the future. We will now dissect this internal mechanism. The first pillar of the sunk cost trap is ego protection. When you sell an investment for a loss, you are forced to do something deeply uncomfortable. Admit you were wrong. This transforms a private mistake into a public, undeniable fact. Your brain perceives this admission of error as a threat to your self-worth and social standing. To avoid this pain, your mind creates a new narrative. You are not holding on to a mistake. You are being patient. You are not losing money. You are waiting for the market to realize the true value. Continuing to invest becomes a way to defend the original decision, to prove to yourself that you were right all along. The second pillar is our old friend, loss aversion, but with a twist. We know that losses feel twice as powerful as gains. A. Paper loss. The kind you see on your screen is unrealized. It feels temporary. But the moment you sell, you crystallize that loss. You make it real. The sunk cost fallacy is the act of indefinitely delaying that painful moment of crystallization. Finally, there is emotional attachment. You become attached not just to the asset itself, but to the future you imagined with it. You dreamed of what that successful investment would bring: financial security, a down payment on a house, or simply the satisfaction of being right. Letting go of the investment feels like letting go of that dream. These three forces, ego protection, loss crystallization, and emotional attachment, create a powerful psychological prison. They lock you into a feedback loop where the more you invest in a failing decision, the harder it becomes to abandon it. The chain you saw in the thumbnail gets thicker and heavier with every dollar and every day you remain committed. Breaking free from this prison requires more than just willpower. It requires a new tool, a mental model that allows you to sidestep these psychological defenses entirely. This tool allows you to assess the situation with perfect clarity, as if you were looking at it for the very first time. Let us reveal how you can do it. The true cost of the sunk cost fallacy is not what you have already lost. The past is gone. The true cost is opportunity cost, what your trapped resources could be doing for you right now. Every dollar tied up in a failing asset is a dollar that cannot be invested in a promising one. It is a soldier stuck guarding a fallen fortress. To break the spell, you need to neutralize your emotional attachment to the past. The tool for this is called zero-based thinking. It is a simple but profound question you must ask yourself. Knowing what I know now, if I did not own this investment, would I buy it today with the money it is currently worth? If the answer is no, then you must sell immediately. This question magically severs the emotional chain to your past decision. It forces you to evaluate the investment based solely on its future potential, not its history. It reframes the decision from "am I admitting a loss" to "what is the best use of this capital for my future?" This can still be emotionally difficult. To ease the pain of realizing a loss, you must reframe it. Do not see it as a failure. See it as tuition. You paid a price for a valuable lesson in investing, patience, or due diligence. This lesson, if you learn from it, will be worth far more in the future than the money you lost. Implement a system to force these decisions. For example, set a rule. If any investment drops by a certain percentage, like 20%, you will automatically reevaluate it using zero-based thinking. A system automates the process, removing your ego and emotions from the moment-to-moment choices, protecting you from your own worst instincts. By mastering zero-based thinking, you are no longer a prisoner of your history. You become a forward-looking investor who allocates capital based on future potential alone. You have learned to let go, but this solves only half the problem. Now that your capital is free, how do you avoid a new kind of paralysis when choosing the next investment? Today, we have unmasked one of the most expensive glitches in the human brain: the sunk cost fallacy. You now understand that it is an evolutionary echo, a misfiring survival instinct that is supercharged by your ego's desire to be right. It is the invisible chain that ties your future potential to your past mistakes. But more importantly, you now possess the key to break that chain: zero-based thinking. By asking, knowing what I know now, would I buy this today? You sever the emotional connection to the past. You transform yourself from someone defined by their history into an architect of their future, allocating your precious resources only to what serves you moving forward. This is a profound shift in mindset. It is not just a financial tactic, it is a life philosophy. It is the ability to assess any situation, a career, a project, a relationship, based on its future promise rather than the weight of its past. This mental tool, once mastered, will bring you not just wealth, but clarity and peace. So you have successfully freed your capital from a bad investment. You stand ready to act. You see a great company you want to invest in, but you hesitate. You notice the price is not as low as it was 6 months ago. That old number sticks in your mind, paralyzing you from buying, even though it is completely irrelevant today. This new form of paralysis is caused by a different cognitive glitch, the anchoring bias. It is the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information offered when making decisions. To make truly rational choices, you must not only know when to let go of the past, but also how to ignore irrelevant information in the present. In the video on your screen right now, we deconstruct the anchoring bias and provide you with the mental tools to see every new opportunity with fresh eyes, free from the ghosts of old prices. Click the video now and complete your toolkit for rational financial decision-making. Your future self will thank you for it.